The car market nowadays have gone absolutely mental. Used cars, or the prices of used cars, have shot through the roof. I just recently saw a Volvo S80 just like this one, with, I think it was 130,000 miles, and they wanted £5,000 for it, for a 2007. So yeah, crazy times. But are these good buys in 2021? Well, the short answer is yes. Volvos and cars like this, especially the S80, seem to be very sort of undervalued in the used car market, compared to their sort of German counterparts. Now, we all know that Volvos are very robust cars. We know that they're going to last a very long time, and that's what makes them such good buys. You can pick these up for £3,000 or £1,500 if you get a decent one at an auction, and you really can just have an awesome car for not a lot of cash, especially in the day when everyone's financing and everything like that. Now, don't get me wrong, there are more modern equivalents, and there are more modern versions of this that are £20,000 still, or perhaps not quite £20,000, but a sort of a last generation XC70, you're looking at nearly £20,000 for a nice one. So yeah, they are very good cars for 2021. I think we're all going to have to be sort of stuck at home and things like that, and if you're not commuting to work, there's no point in spending lots of money on a lovely car when you can get a lovely car for relatively cheap. Now, the S80s in particular are worth a lot less than the V70s, and I think this is just because they're less practical. People nowadays don't seem to like a saloon. I personally love saloons, so I don't mind at all, but people want practicality. They want SUVs, and a V70 sort of gives you a happy medium between a car and an SUV, I suppose, with the space. But for a V7, for an S80, I think a lot of people can't see why you would want a nice big saloon, which is perfect for me because I love them, so I'll buy them while they're cheap. Next is going to be that they're not the cheapest cars to run, and I think as people are going to perhaps get less willing to spend money when they travel, a lot of people are working from home, etc., justifying £300 a year on tax for this might become more difficult when people can buy an A-class like we had, for example, and pay £20 a year for tax. These D5s as well often cost more to run than perhaps more modern cars, but I do think these cars still have a very relevant place in sort of the car market at the moment. Now, this car is possibly the most comfortable car, well, not even possibly, it is the most comfortable car I've ever sat in. The way that these seats feel to sit in are just wonderful. I could literally sit in this car all day and get out at the other end of the day and just be totally relaxed, almost more relaxed than when I got in, and not have any aches or pains or anything. And you can just munch miles in cars like this, and I think that's where these cars are really sort of relevant in 2021. If you're someone that does big miles and you're perhaps a bit fed up of new cars nowadays, they're just, I don't know, there's nothing out there that appeals to me directly. I do like the Volvo S90, but I'm not willing to pay 15-20 grand. There's the ring camera going off. 15 or 20 grand to have a car that is just, yeah, more expensive and doesn't give you that much more for your money. So yeah, let me know your guys' thought. Obviously, we're going into a world of electrification and hybrids and fuel bans and all that sort of rubbish, and I think what we're going to start to see is companies appear with electrification for older cars. Now, because I absolutely love this car. If I could convert it to electric, a usable electric car for £5,000, I would probably do that rather than spending another 15 grand on an S90. There's just no reason for me to change this car. It does everything I want it to do. So yeah, let me know you guys' thought. If say for example I set up a electrification for older cars, would you be willing to do that to your Volvo? It's an interesting thing. You can actually get the V60 D6, can't you, with the dual motors, sorry, the engine and the hybrid motor, a range of around 20 miles, which for a lot of people is going to be absolutely fine. But then you've also got the same engine as this, the 2.4 D5 engine with the twin turbos and 215 brake horsepower. So I think the whole thing shifts from 0 to 60 in about 6 seconds. So it's a nice quick car, but with if you have a 20 mile commute or a 10 mile commute, for example, you could drive there completely on electric, and only use the diesel engine for sort of long distance cruising on the motorway. Now I think that's probably going to be, that's the way we should be going, is using efficient diesel engines and hybrid powertrains. But there's very few manufacturers that actually offer a diesel hybrid nowadays. It's all gone to petrol and things like that, which isn't as efficient, and will use more of our fossil fuels quicker, which is something that I can't understand why people would want to do that, but it's the direction we're being pushed in by manufacturers. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on this whole thing. It's got a bit deep, isn't it? So I'm going to end it there. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on the whole electrification thing, whether you think your Volvo, or if you're looking to buy one, why you're looking to buy one of these in 2021. Are you coming out of a company car scheme where you've been paying hundreds of pounds a month for tax, and you've worked out that you could pay 6 months worth of that tax to buy a car like this and be absolutely fine? Or are you sort of a long-term Volvo owner that doesn't want to give up their car? Let me know, and I'll yeah, see you next video. Cheers.